Hey guys, what's going on? It's Riley here, back for another video. And in today's video, I want to talk a little bit now, about how the stance against non-binary people, in my view, the hatred, I guess, towards non-binary people, just simply, I mean, not only does it not make any sense, but the actual talking points that are put out against non-binary people, in my opinion, just don't even work logically. So there's a couple groups of people that hate non-binary people, but just to focus on some of the main, it's definitely the trans medicalists and some people that aren't trans medicalists but cis people that are really just, I'm just gonna put it this way, anti the LGBT, whatever letters on it now, Q plus people in general, right? So basically, the trans medicalists are they're like, you're actually appropriating our struggle, our problem, and that would be all well and good. And I made this point in my last video, that would be all well and good and everything, and I don't have a problem with someone saying that. If someone actually genuine is just pretending to be non-binary, or that one shooter who came out as non-binary right after the shooting because they wanted to I don't know really what the purpose of that was exactly, maybe to try to manipulate their way out of being seen as a typical white male shooter. Besides the point, I could see where they're going with that if it was something like that, where it's okay, you're just taking the trans label or trying to be trans in order to essentially get brownie points, get out of the quote-unquote oppression card that you're holding, even though you're really not holding an oppression card to a certain degree, but that's another video. So anyway, that would be all well and good if the definition of transgender, and I made this point, wasn't just, I identify as a gender that is different than my birth sex. It would be all fine if that wasn't a thing. But unfortunately, for the people claiming that, that is a thing. So they have to deal with that definition. Now, you can say, okay, definitions don't mean anything. What about the medical diagnosis? Okay. So pretty much what I have to say about that is, yeah, you do have a medical diagnosis, that is true. But at the same time, when it comes specifically to being a transgender person, I don't believe that necessarily 100% to be a medical thing. I think it's also definitely a social thing. It's a psychological thing. It's a bunch of different factors. But if you're talking purely and sincerely about the medical portion, well, there's non-binary people that get fucking medical surgeries to be more androgynous. So I don't understand what that point is either. There's non-binary people have gender dysphoria. That's something that non-binary people have too. I don't understand why, people are this is binary. And I'm in my last video that I made on this, I was yeah, I've seen non-binary people, and they just they might transition and then they're I don't feel like either. It happens. And you know why I know it happens? Because I actually know a YouTuber that was like that. And I also know that it happens because the human population is 7 billion. I don't know, I see these people online like Marcus, the offensive tranny or whatever. He acts this is the stupidest worldview I've ever seen. There's 7 billion people on Earth. The size of the population, 7 billion. You went through something, you transitioned to the opposite sex, great, or the opposite gender, or whatever the hell it is. But now you're basically trying to say that no one else can have a different experience than you, when that's just statistically impossible, which is stupid. So the trans medicalists, they're just fucking dumb. And then the second people that hate non-binary people are just the people who hate LGBTQ plus people in general. Or they're the kind of people who tentatively support it. The people who are yeah, I support binary trans people, that makes sense. But non-binary trans people or non-binary people in general, now that doesn't make sense. It's like, so you're basically saying that if we were living in a world where trans people that were binary were just as valid, where didn't make sense to you, you would be a bigot towards them. That's basically what that's communicating without actually saying it. It's kind of like a code word for that, I guess you could say. But like overall, non-binary people are real. They exist. I'm not talking about intersex, obviously. I'm talking about people who identify as neither gender, or they identify more with one, or whatever the hell, or less with one. And it just seems like people are all in their bubble and they want to get mad and stuff and be pissed off and shit. It's just like, I don't give a like, if someone is non-binary, like, I don't care. I just don't. You know? It's not appropriation. It's not whatever. You're getting mad because you basically live in a narrow bubble where everyone repeats the same talking points that you repeat constantly 24 hours out of the day. So, be non-binary, be whatever the hell. It's perfectly fine, valid, and normal, honestly. Who the fuck cares? So, anyway, thanks for watching. Have a good video. All right. Have a good rest of your day. Have a good video.